How's it going, YouTube? My name is Pawinn, and I'm here to talk about my Turbo E36. So before we get into everything, I just wanted to pull up some comments from Instagram. I put a post earlier today asking people what they specifically wanted to know, and then just my quick responses overall. How much boost do you run through the M50, and how have you done anything to the motor besides head gasket and studs? No, I didn't do anything. The stock internals were fair enough. It's a budget build. I didn't want to do anything more than about 14 PSI, which is the current boost level right now in the car. Sorry if you mentioned before, but do you have an aftermarket ECU? No, I do not. I'm retaining the stock one, as you'll see in the following parts overview. So the comment is, what growing pains have you had with it? Things you would do differently, how it is tuned, and how is the drivability. I can comment on the drivability so far that it is great. The only things that I am dealing with right now is a rich idle. But other than that, I will save the pains of this car for another video. Overall, I love the car though. I'll tell you guys that. I'm planning on basically starting a small series that kind of split the build into different parts, like oil and fuel and intake, plumbing, electronics and stuff like that, into different videos, so those who are interested to build a similar car like this can actually see the breakdown of my thought process, how I went through different budgeting and how I selected my parts and all the options that I went through. And I'll try my best to kind of get you guys on the same page on how I built this car. I should have probably said this in the beginning. It is a 1995 325 convertible. I mean, there's still a lot of cosmetic work to be done right here, of course. Like, this is an unpainted bumper, and this hood could use a lot more love in order to shape it a little bit better. I was more concerned with the functionality of the car first over the actual looks of the car. But I have a lot of plans for this summer, and hopefully I'll get through all of them, and one of them includes changing the color of this car, but I won't tell you what exactly I'm doing yet. Some VMR wheels. Right now, specs will be in the description. Wrapped in Continental DW summer tires, stickers, a couple horsepower each one, you know. AutoZone special right there. Magnaflow muffler with just a basic tip from AutoZone, 2.5-inch exhaust all the way to a glass pack in the middle, and then straight to the downpipe. That's this door right here. Oh, another thing, the reason why a lot of people say, oh, why don't you have door panels? Because none of these windows work, and I've been trying to fix these windows for a long time with no success. So I just knock this out, window comes down, I can get a nice breeze. Go ahead and pop the hood. That motor back there, and this entire chassis of the car is about 170,000 miles. This motor I pulled from an automatic E36, same exact motor, just it was an automatic, and it was 50,000 miles younger. So this motor has ARP head studs, and it has a thicker Cometic head gasket. I think if you want the exact thickness, is about 0.120 inches. Yeah, I pulled the motor apart completely, cleaned up everything on the inside, cleaned the pistons all around, they're all dirty. I pretty much serviced everything that needs to be done maintenance-wise. So going around the side of the motor, I'm running the CX Racing manifold that you can find on eBay. This bracket right here to kind of like help support the weight of the turbo a little bit. As for aspiration, I am running the Precision 5858 turbo. It's got a 4-inch inlet. I think it has a 2.5-inch outlet on the side. The intercooler, I'm running the CX Racing Universal Kit. It's a 3-inch tubing kit to give you all the piping that you need. More than enough just to create these simple little bends down here going out around the car. As you can see here, I had to get a shop help me TIG weld the actual flange for a new MAF sensor and a blow-off valve flange right here. So the actual wastegate and blow-off valve combo in this motor is from Tile. I don't have a filter on it because it does not clear the hood, as you can see. That is why I have a bump in the first place. As for oil, it's the stock oil system itself, but the only thing I really modified was this cap here. BMWs have a drop-in filter, and normally you just unscrew this bolt, take the cap off, and then you take the filter out. This is the same exact thing. This is actually from Ireland Engineering. But basically, this cap allows you to splice out these two lines here that go to a separate oil cooler right back there to help with the high temperatures that are caused by the forced induction. This tap on the side right here goes actually to a pressure gauge, oil pressure gauge down there, which helps me make sure whether or not I'm making sure that I got good oil pressure. There's another tap on the other side, but that's capped off. This turbo oil feed is actually spliced from the very bottom of the Dyno oil supply line. You can get like, it's like a banjo bolt tap that you can find on most places on the internet, like Rally Road. You can get it from techniquetuning.com, a bunch of other places. As for cooling, all I really did is I kept the old viscous fan. You can delete this fan, but you'd need an electric fan that is hooked up to the original AC switch or anything like that. But in general, I just upgraded the cooling just using a typical Mishimoto radiator. Gotta love these zip ties, huh? It runs a Mishimoto radiator. As for cooling, the aluminum radiator works great, no leaks so far. So as for tuning the car, the entire ECU is retained. So I used the stock ECU and I replaced the chip with actually the Miller Performance Ward chip right here. It's pretty much the same as a performance chip, but the exception is that it has the capability of you and yourself being able to tune the car. At the end of the day, if you get the car tuned by Miller Performance, which they do remotely, you just have to find a dyno. At the end of the day, you can change the tune. You can do little things here and there like launch control, rev limits. You can even adjust timing and little parameters here and there. But for the most part, you can tune your own car if you wanted to. And the only limitation, I think, is that you need like an old computer. You need an old computer that runs XP. The Miller Performance Turbo package comes with 60-pound injectors. The chip itself comes with a MAF and the flange that you have to weld to this piping itself. And the base tune, of course. I wanted the interior to be simplistic. I didn't want anything complicated. Of course, there's no door panels, as I mentioned earlier, but to start things off, I got the Condor Speed tall weighted shift knob. Condor Speed Shop, shout out to them. Awesome company to work with. I'm definitely ordering future parts from them over and over again. I already have a crap ton of parts from them that I will mention soon. As for gauges, I have oil pressure gauge, AFR gauge, and a boost gauge. This AFR gauge is hooked up to a secondary O2 sensor in the actual downpipe. Everything else, there's the computer that tells you everything doesn't work. Aftermarket head unit. Here I have this fancy USB cable. This USB cable is also supplied by Miller Performance, and this is actually hooked up to the actual chip inside the ECU. I had to feed the wire back. But basically this allows me to plug into a computer to tune the car. I basically took the Miller Performance chip dial, and this allows you to switch between the 4 tunes allowable on the chip itself. It's like pretty easy to just do. There's neutral. One of the favorite things I can do with this car while it's running and while I'm out of the car is the fact that I can still rev the car outside, and I can hit launch control actually. Check this out. So other mods that I haven't mentioned that are hard to see in the car without taking the car apart are the fact that the car has cross-shield rotors in the front, as well as ceramic brake pads. I haven't really touched the rear brakes yet because I had just got the leaks fixed a while ago. Other than that, the car also is sitting on complete solid bushings from Condor Speed Shop. I believe the package I got is called the Sleeper package. The car itself also has a stage 2 clutch. It is the XTR, I believe, yeah, the XTR F1 stage 2 clutch that you can get on eBay. It's like one of the only eBay kits that have been known to be that they work fine for the application. But my only concern is that I need to upgrade to probably the South Bend clutch because it's maxed out right now. by power. So I will place the dyno sheet here, and you can see from the dyno sheet how much horsepower the car is making. Background information is that the car was dynoed on a Mustang dyno, and it maxed out about 341 horsepower. So there you guys have it. So this is my Turbo E36. If I missed anything that you guys still want to know about the car, please leave a comment below. And also follow my Instagram. You guys are more than welcome to message me, but be patient. I try my best to answer all questions, all comments in general. So the complete parts list of this car, or the majority of the parts that I can remember off the top of my head, are included in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this walk around, and honestly there's going to be more content to come, but we'll see how this goes.